Have you ever noticed how sometimes the biggest moments in history begin quietly with a single word like ceasefire? Today, the world is holding its breath as Israel and Hamas have finally agreed to pause months of brutal fighting in Gaza. But is this the beginning of peace or just another moment before the storm returns? Let's find out. After nearly a year of unimaginable destruction, thousands of lives lost, and millions displaced, the people of Gaza are seeing a fragile light at the end of a long, dark tunnel. The guns have gone silent, at least for now. The deal, brokered by the United States, Egypt, and Qatar, calls for both sides to stop fighting immediately. In exchange, Hamas will release several Israeli hostages, and Israel will free Palestinian prisoners. Humanitarian aid is also on the way. For the first time in months, trucks loaded with food, medicine, and fuel are preparing to cross into Gaza. It's a small step, but for families who have been surviving on almost nothing, it feels like a lifeline. In Israel, the news brought mixed emotions. For families of hostages, there's relief finally, a chance to see loved ones again. But others fear Hamas could use this truce to regroup, warning that peace might be temporary. Israeli officials have called it a humanitarian pause, not a permanent end to the war. Meanwhile, inside Gaza, hope and heartbreak coexist. People walk through streets that no longer look like their neighborhoods, buildings turn to dust, hospitals and ruins. Yet amid all this loss, there's a moment of quiet. Children can step outside. Parents can breathe without hearing explosions. It's fragile, but it's something. The United States played a crucial role in this deal. After months of global pressure and protests demanding action, Washington stepped in alongside Egypt and Qatar to bring both sides to the table. President Biden called it a step toward peace and humanitarian relief, while also acknowledging that lasting peace will require much more than just this temporary halt. Still, many critics believe this truce came too late, that thousands of lives could have been saved had world powers acted sooner. But diplomacy often moves slower than war, and that's part of what makes peace so hard to hold. The United Nations and aid groups are already preparing to enter Gaza with emergency supplies. Teams are on standby, ready to deliver food, medicine, and clean water. Yet relief workers warn that a few days of peace won't heal the deep wounds this war has left. Hospitals need rebuilding. Families need homes. And an entire generation of children will carry this trauma for the rest of their lives. Around the world, leaders are cautiously optimistic. The European Union has urged both sides to use this chance to restart political dialogue. In Arab nations, there's relief, but also a reminder that without addressing the root causes, peace will never last. On social media, the reaction is emotional: joy for those freed, grief for those lost, and frustration that the cycle keeps repeating. So what happens next? Negotiators say this ceasefire could be just the first step in a larger, multi-phase plan. The hope is to rebuild Gaza, stabilize borders, and maybe, just maybe, reopen talks about a long-term political solution. But history tells us that hope alone isn't enough. True peace takes courage, trust, and change, things that don't come easily after decades of conflict. Still, every journey toward peace begins with a single pause. Maybe this is that moment when the world looks at Gaza not just as a battlefield, but as a place where people live, dream, and deserve a future. The Gaza ceasefire isn't the end of the story. But it might be the first page of a new one. For the people of Gaza, for the families in Israel, and for everyone still daring to believe that peace is possible, this moment matters. Music swells slightly. If you believe that peace is worth fighting for, share this video so more people can understand what's really happening. Hit the like button, subscribe for more updates, and let's keep talking about the stories that truly shape our world.